Look like you need the PainPill. Hi, I'm Dean Bushmiller with Expanding Security. The PainPill is every Tuesday for 3 minutes. I want to find one thing that can make us more secure, make us better at our job, and make our job better for us. This week you can get your free class by going to the bit.ly link below. Notice the underscore. You can buy mind maps on our site at Expanding Security. This week we're talking about buffer overflows. I'm always looking for a good analogy, an easy way to understand things for myself and for my students. And I want to know what a good analogy is for buffer overflows. At least I want to be able to limit this security flaw. And if I have an understanding of how the flaw works, then I can probably protect against it. Now, the quintessential paper on buffer overflows is Smashing the Stack for Fun and Profit. That's a great read for those who are very, very geeky. But what about the rest of us? So I looked up something from my past. I used to be a busboy as a kid, and we used to have these really cool plate warmers for the buffet. They've got a spring inside of them where you can load the plates into them. So I would grab a stack of dry dishes and shove them into the plate warmer at the buffet, and people would come by and they would pick off the plates and go down the buffet line. When you drop them into the hopper, the spring pushes down and the first plate on there is the one that you take. So that's really a last in, first out operation. The reason why I remember this was because I actually one time grabbed a whole stack of plates, about 2 feet of them, and they were kind of wet. And I went running around a corner to drop them into the hopper before it was empty, because then people really get upset when they can't get their food. And as I turned the corner, 2 feet of plates smashed all over the place. I actually smashed the stack, but it was a stack of plates, not memory stack. Here's what they look like. So buffer overflows. How does that have to do? How does the analogy work? Well, plates are stacked in a last in, first out operation. That's that spring loaded thing with all the plates in it. Last in, first out is a key to understanding how a memory stack works. The memory stack is the memory buffer, and actually what we do with buffer overflows is we abuse that buffer. It's like, well, it's like last in, first out. And you say, well, Dean, how does that relate to buffer overflows? Well, like plates, there are so many different ways to go after buffer overflows, so many places for an attacker to attack. If you want to learn more about buffer overflows, come to our class because it doesn't fit into a 3-minute format. So how would I fix buffer overflows? Well, first off, in your policy, you want to incorporate third-party code review before releasing any kind of product out there. Let people look for those buffer overflows. Let people do that decompilation of your particular code. If you're doing a web application, you might want to look up the OWASP ES API for any of your web applications and think about putting that in place. Make that a requirement of your policy. Now, the reality is that in a lot of cases, we don't control the code, so we have to rely on the vendor. The vendor rolls out patches. You need to build a good patch management process into your policy. From an action item standpoint, you need to review the vendor patches and make sure that they work appropriately within your change control or configuration management or patch management policy. And the real technical thing is to learn the ES API. You can get more past PainPills by going to expandingsecurity.com or YouTube. If you sign up, you get a great many details. This week we have a free CPE education, and it's our live class on Thursday at a special time, 11 a.m. You can go to the bit.ly link PainPill_28 5 minutes before to get set up and come learn about buffer overflows. I will get into the details. And hopefully you don't need a pain pill until next week.